Wednesday, the day before the holiday.
The Wednesday that is a Friday.
The Wednesday that is technically a Friday, yes, that dangerous. So, Keto Talk 101. No, not really. What are we doing? So, I think we both have gone down, right? Weight-wise?
It depends on where you're measuring from.
Well, I mean, you're not back to your original low point yet.
No.
But you're heading downward, right?
Yeah, trending that way.
Trending
Down.
Well, I got under 180 and I was very happy. I haven't done that in a little while since we're cheating. And those of you that also watch Jimmy Rants, I'm going to begin the 7-day fast on Friday. Robert is still up in the air as to whether or not he's doing it. And I'm not even totally confirmed that I'm going to do 7 days, but I do want to at least fast for 3 days, and then we'll kind of go from there. Not to put myself into a point of failure, but the only thing that I honestly, really and truly, the only thing that I'm worried about is the fact that I work out like 2 times a day, in the morning and at lunch. And so I was a little nervous that with as much as I burn calories when I work out, that I'll have to like change my workout. But Robert does not agree.
I think the whole point of it is to get your body into a state of self-consumption. And the more activity you have, just the bigger you activate that.
Yeah, and I've done a juice fast. I used to do the Mean and Green juice from Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead documentary. And I worked out the whole time I was doing that juice fast for 30 days or whatever.
There were no real calories involved. I mean,
in the juice fast?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Now that I've done keto and I realize all of the stuff that I was putting in my body, there was plenty of calories. Because I had at least 3 apples and at least 3 oranges. And
I always forget what's in there because all I taste is kale.
Yeah, celery, kale, cucumber. So, plenty of calories. No fiber. Or not much to speak of.
Kale.
Huh?
Kale.
You mentioned kale.
And all the pollen.
But you don't get that much pollen, do you? Because of the juicing? Or is it?
Yeah, you still get a lot of fibrous pollen.
All I know is that about halfway in, I started getting sores in my mouth.
Yep.
From that. And it was very uncomfortable because I'm just really trying to finish the fast. And everybody at work thought I was a freak. Because all I drank and all I ate was this big, like, 32-ounce green looking dirt juice. It looked gross. It tastes awesome. I didn't have any problem with it tasted.
Yeah.
Robert didn't like it.
It was gross.
I think when I switched from kale to spinach, you didn't hate it as much.
It wasn't as bad, but
Kale is so much nutrition. Of course, now it's like, do you get any of that nutrition? I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I hear such mixed things about kale, you know?
yeah.
Ask a carnivore and none of the nutrition in vegetables actually gets absorbed.
And spinach isn't even really a food.
Yeah. So, you know, it's really hard sometimes because you get so many mixed responses on stuff like that. Thinking that you're on the right path and then you find something else and it tells you something different. You know, one study says this, another study says that. It's like, I don't know.
Anything you can find out on the internet, you can find an opposing opinion.
Absolutely, every time.
That sounds just as reasonable.
Yeah, and they believe what they're saying 100%.
Yep.
100%.
So you wind up, the only recourse at that point is to research the methods of them obtaining your information, who you're actually talking to, and what is their motivation for speaking. And so all you wind up doing is impugning somebody's character.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so this is the only way that I can find out what the truth is, just figure out who's most likely a liar.
Seems harsh.
Yeah. And it's not really the way I want to do my research, because just because you're wrong in something or misguided doesn't mean everything you know is crap.
Well, and I think that that's why in this community so much of the information that we have is anecdotal, because nobody really knows anything.
No.
Or at least there's just too many different versions of the truth out there that you just...
And then also, and this might be going a little off topic, but your spiritual walk in life, I'm learning, determines how things work for you.
Your mindset, your focus, your journey. Yep.
Some things that could bother one person could really help you because of your mindset and the way that you're approaching the situation and your attitude. And so, like Aimee was saying, we just fasted and we lost weight and we felt great some of the time. When, it didn't feel like you're swallowing varnish and ripping all the skin off of the inside of you. But,
Just then is it an issue.
Yeah.
Other than that, good to go.
Oh.
I mean, I worked out hardcore on that fast, which was really surprising to me. I had tons of energy. I feel like I do now when I'm in ketosis,
Right.
Waking up on time.
And so it's like, can we really throw that entire concept out? I mean, it flushed a lot of the toxins out of our body, made us feel a lot better.
Yeah.
It cut down some of the calories. I mean, yes, there's a lot of fruit and sugars in that juice, but at the same time, it's 32 ounces of juice for the whole freaking day.
Yeah.
It's not 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
And so, there's some give and take in any diet. And it's like, how much of it was my attitude and my willingness to sacrifice that was the benefit? And how much of it was the actual process?
And how much of it was just the fasting that was making it happen? You never know. I mean, you can't just have this black and white mentality of my way is the only way. And if you do it different, then you're stupid. And I feel like so many YouTubers these days, that's their whole platform is your way is dumb and I'm going to make fun of you now. It's like, unsubscribe. There it is.
And the thing is you don't know their body chemistry because everybody is different. You don't know their ancestral history of what kind of diets did their family and ancestors evolve to. What kind of activities did they evolve to? It's really interesting because I really have a love for the Vikings, and I do a lot of research in that area, and they rode across the Atlantic Ocean with no fruit or greens, and they did not.
Didn't get scurvy.
From the best that I can tell, they took goats to milk, and they got their trace minerals and vitamins from the goat's milk, and cheese, and which kept them from dying, like she said, over the course of a long trip. And so that might be fine for a Viking, but I'm not so sure, an
Irish girl can handle that.
Exactly.
I think that's the other thing that's kind of an interesting conundrum that they don't normally talk about is, when you're a couple and you're trying to do something like the keto carnivore diet, then he has a different ancestral DNA than I have. And so what may work for him is not necessarily going to work for me. And so you have to be super mindful and make the right decisions in the way that you incorporate other trace minerals, because what will work for you in the goat milk might not be what my body needs.
Along with the fact that Aimee's body doesn't handle milk very well.
Yeah, not so much. Unless it's in the form of ice cream, and then I don't really care. Or cheese. Do you like cheese?
And so, so there's that whole process of, if somebody has some sort of lactose intolerance, my diet's not going to work for them because I get probably 65 to 75% of my fat just from dairy.
Yeah, we buy milk every single week for him from the farmer's market, and I never drink it.
Oh.
Ever.
There's 2 gallons a week that I drink all myself.
By himself, yep. And they do not go bad.
No,
They do not.
in fact, normally, before the end of the week, I'm out of milk.
Which is crazy, and you're still losing like absolute insanity. Yeah, you might want to put that out since we're
And I probably have more carbs coming in through that milk than the keto allows.
And yet you're fine.
So, like I said, everybody's walk's different. They're starting from a different place. They've got a different point of view on the thing. And most likely they've got different body chemistry. And so being not so judgmental about how people are doing things and just accepting that may work for them, but something else is going to work for me, or that may work for me as well, is a good open attitude to have about it.
Well, and I think you really have to be willing to take your health into your own hands and not just have somebody else. I mean, we get to that point, you look at Weight Watchers, you look at Jenny Craig, and it's all about putting the control in somebody else's hands. Bring me my food. Tell me what I'm allowed to eat. Tell me how many points I'm allowed to eat. And ultimately, like you said, every single body is different. Every single ancestral DNA is slightly different. I mean, they all are, And so if you don't take the time to learn who you are, you could be eating just wrong.
So
and not optimal.
All that to get down to the thing that I think helped us the most is the bulletproof diet.
It did.
And
it was a good transition.
the idea that the only way for me to do this successfully is experiment with myself, change my diet, and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then you get a good concept of, okay, this works for me, this doesn't, and you can start blocking things out and adding things to your list of foods, and I think that's the key that got us to where we are. I mean, yes,
Mindset.
Keto and Carnivore has been awesome, and it is the next step from there, but we would have never got there had we not started hacking our own selves and experimenting with what we're doing.
Get outside the box.
Yeah.
Yep.
And stop listening to everybody else as the final opinion, and just listen to them as advisors, and then the anecdotal evidence as the opinion or the facts of the matter.
Nice. Good video, honey.
I hope so. I hope I didn't bore anybody to death.
No, we didn't ramble on about our own personal lives. We actually talked about keto. You are welcome. Finally, a real live video. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a great Wednesday.
And use the information wisely.
Exactly. The power is in your hands. Bye.